right, we all recording?
Yes, we are.
Looking good. Count it down live one more time. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Close enough.
Amber did not say go. She is off the show. We'll never have her back or speak of her. Goodbye, everybody.
And that was the last woman they had on the show.
Ghostbusters with special guest Amber Ali Frost. Amber, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Thank you for having me on.
Like I said, we will be breaking down the cultural flashpoint that is Lady Ghostbusters. But before we do that, let's just introduce ourselves in case you forgot. It's me, Will Menaker, with Felix Biederman.
Hey, everybody.
And Matt Chrisman.
Hello.
So, like I said, there's much to discuss about the Lady Ghostbusters movie and all of the controversy surrounding it. Before we get into that, I just was hoping, Matt, that you could give us all just a little preview of our next show's coverage of the Republican National Convention, because you were on the ground in Cleveland on Monday doing some boot leather reporting. Can you give us a little snippet of things to come?
Well, I spent most of the day at a park right next to the Cuyahoga River in the Flats in Cleveland, probably 2 miles away from the Quicken Loans Arena, at a Alex Jones-sponsored, quote-unquote, unity rally that was actually called America First. So, boom, right there on the nose. Milo was there. Alex Jones, of course, headlined. Everyone's favorite black conservative Wayne Dupree was there. A collection of scam artists and aspiring politicos came on and ranted, and most humorously enough of all, I'm fairly certain that there was at least one reporter for every person who actually attended the thing.
Now, I want to. We're going to have Brian Quimby on for our next show to discuss the Republican National Convention. But the one thing I want to ask you about is Tucker Carlson ducked his head inside your car, Matt.
He did, yes.
It looked like he was soliciting.
Basically, we were driving past the big hotel complex thing and past this alley that had a bunch of election-related gewgaws and spectacle that we hope to go to tomorrow when we go back. And we were moving at a very slow pace because it was getting near rush hour, and I saw this douchebag in a suit talking on a cell phone, and I was like, that's Tucker Carlson. And Brian looked and he was like, yo, my God, that is Tucker Carlson. So we got our phones because we wanted to, we were basically playing Pokemon there, trying to catch them all. I got a lot of Pokemon. I got a Chris Hayes-Azard. I got Jeb Lundachu. And I got a lot of barely tethered to reality mons. So we get our phones out, and he sees us take our phones out. And he just walks over to the thing, and he goes, what are you guys doing? And Brian says, taking pictures. And he goes, of what? And he says, of you people. And Carlson like bends in, and he's like, oh, you want a picture, huh? And so Brian tries to do, a selfie, and he has a little trouble. It takes him a second to get the thing front facing, and so of course Tucker starts negging him, and he's like, how old are you? You don't know what you're doing. And then, he was being an alpha frat douche. And then, Brian got a photo, and then he split. I was thrown for a bit because he was wearing a regular tie. He wasn't wearing one of his fancy lad bow ties. So that's why for a second, I actually didn't think it was him at first.
Bitch.
I honestly was like, oh, wait a minute, he's got a regular tie on. That's not Tucker Carlson. And then we got closer, like, oh, I guess he decided to mix it up.
Variety is the spice of life,
Also, beating up gay people in bathrooms, also the spice of life.
Yeah, that's my favorite Tucker Carlson thing. For people that don't know, Tucker Carlson claimed to have assaulted a gay person who came on to him in a bathroom. But if you look at Tucker Carlson, he has the inbreeding that only rich people do, and I think if he ever tried to throw a punch in his life, like his fucking shoulder would come out of its socket.
His brother's name is Buckley.
Ugh.
These clearly are people who like budded off of some fungus in a basement, in like Chappaqua or something.
There's something, going back to the names, there's something about when you pass a certain level of wealth, I don't know if it's like 50 million or 100 million, you start naming your children exactly as you would your dogs.
Well, the obvious example of that is Gretchen Carlson with her children Yates, Yardley, and Thatcher.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or like William F. Buckley named his dog Sebi, which could easily be a Carlson brother or cousin. We all agreed on Sebi's excellence.
Well, but before we go too far down this rabbit hole, let's refocus on the reason that we're all here today, which is to discuss the Lady Ghostbusters. And I think the easiest segue is, Matt, you mentioned you saw Milo at the Alex Jones rally on Monday.
I did. I mean, he was being, as usual, flooded by just ass-kissing incel dorks. And he was doing his damnedest to appear not to be disgusted by it. All of them.
Did he do the hover hand on any of them?
Well, he would he would stand next to them, and he was very dutiful. Like someone who would step up to him and he'd be like, "Okay, this is the next one," and he would sort of like hold himself to avoid contact. He was very not touchy at all. He tried to keep a distance, which I understand. I mean, those guys all had like at least a quarter-inch layer of grease on them.
Yeah, no, but this is the thing though. Lady Ghostbusters is the film that finally got Milo permanently banned from Twitter. I mean, this movie's been out like, I feel like, okay, so like as soon as this movie was announced, I feel like there's been this bullshit controversy about it that, I think we mostly regard as a marketing ploy from the Sony PR department. But like all bullshit, it has to be based in some small amount of truth, which is this kind of, I don't know, nerd backlash against remaking the, classic Ghostbusters with an all-female cast. And this is the thing that just this week, one of the lead actresses in Lady Ghostbusters, Leslie Jones, was the target of one of Milo's little attention-grabbing stunts and received a avalanche of nasty Twitter harassment and abuse, mostly of a sexist variety. And the outcry over that was such that Twitter finally dropped the hammer on Milo and took away his entire account, not just his check mark. So
R.I.P.
Hero.
He's with Harambe in heaven now. But you talk about how much of the Ghostbusters controversy was ginned up as a publicity stunt, and it totally was. But it's just so interesting to see how both sides in this thing need each other.
It's a kind of reactionary feminism. We don't really have anything to sort of throw ourselves behind right now, so we get stuck on these sort of cultural representation campaigns that are, virtually meaningless to nearly everyone in the world. But we treat them like they're like this life or death situation, and it's insane.
And it's made up, but at the same time, there are guys like Milo who also, for their own relevancy to continue, need these things to happen so they could be on the other side of it.
Yeah, there was a BuzzFeed listicle that I was showing Will yesterday. It was 12 ways you can support the Lady Ghostbusters. They didn't call it Lady Ghostbusters. That's just what it's called in my head.
For the purposes of our show, the film is called, the title of the movie is Lady Ghostbusters. So
I think
that's what it is.
Did that.
Yeah, no, actually, I have this article up in front of me right now, and I think this is a good gateway into our discussion. This is by Alana Bennett. She's a BuzzFeed staff writer, and the title of it is 12 Ways You Can Support the New Ghostbusters Movie Against the Hate Campaign. And now, Amber, you looked into this, and this is not a sponsored post. This isn't one of their native advertising things on BuzzFeed.
I kept looking for the little sponsored post thing. It's not that. It's amazing. These women are working for free for like this, multi-million
for the Sony PR department.
Yeah, it's insane. And eventually the advice just kind of adds up to, go see the movie and, talk about how good it is online. Basically form an organic street team for this Hollywood summer blockbuster.
I hear the feminist Ghostbuster partisans are sending people in with suicide vests to the Jason Bourne movie.
Ghostbuster fans swim like fish through the sea of the peasantry.
It was and it became this thing before the movie, and this was way before the movie came out too, where it was like, it was equivocated with activism or organizing in some way. It was like you go see the Lady Ghostbuster movies as like a equivalent to sitting at a lunch counter in segregated Mississippi. It's completely insane, and people have bought into it, and it's become this weird back and forth between like 5 basement troll guys and like this roaring online feminism reacting to the basement trolls.
Wait. I mean, I haven't seen this movie, but are you guys saying that a bunch of cynical liberals use consumption as politics because they can't face any inconvenience that causes them to live their lives any different, and they internalize all their consumer choices as actions because they don't have any beliefs? I'm Hamilton!
Well, of the 12 ways that you can support Ghostbusters, probably half of them involve just giving your money to the Ghostbusters franchise.
Give your money to Lady Ghostbusters.
And the other half involves spending your time marketing Ghostbusters.
For free.
Let's go through a couple of them. The number one way you can support Lady Ghostbusters is go see the damn movie. So buy a ticket. My favorite is number 2. Go see it multiple times if you have the means. I like that they have the caveat, if you have the means, because they don't want to be like, goading people. Yeah, they don't want to be goading people of like, low income into seeing Ghostbusters multiple times.
I had to move out of my apartment into my car, but it was worth it because I saw Ghostbusters 15 times.
You're a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
Number 3 is bring your friends. Get other people to spend money on the movie. Number 4 is make the theater as rowdy and supportive as a bunch of drunk girls in a bar bathroom, a.k.a. the pinnacle of supportive fun times.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what everyone wants in a movie, a fucking bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Number 4 is specifically designed to make Rod Dreher's friend N-word go insane.
These guys are being snarky. I haven't seen the movie yet, but when I see the movie, ladies, I want you to feel safe. Take your shoes off. Wear open-toed shoes. Just put those doggies in the air. Just, come on, completely barefoot, ladies. Let's have fun. Let's make this supportive.
Another one of my favorites is number 7. Make a hashtag to counteract the hatred. And they recommend a few. Like, go see Ghostbusters, support Ghostbusters, and then, or something salty and misandrist like Ballbusters ?
That'll show.
Ooh, how about this? How about this? Guys, check it out. All ghosts matter.
This is actually good. Number 8 is remind people that Donald Trump also publicly maligned the women-led Ghostbusters. And this is really good because I had never seen this. It's a real Donald Trump Instagram video, and he's sitting in his office and he goes,
"They're remaking Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. You can't do that. And now they're making Ghostbusters with only women. What's going on?"
This is tailor-made for us, guys. You ready for this? Number 11 is again, caveat, I'm not making this up. Number 11 is give in to the pressures of capitalism and buy the shit out of the merch and tie-in food stuff.
Hell yeah.
Who are these adult women who are like, you know what? I need some Ghostbusting merch.
I want that Ecto Cooler juice box.
You know,
I ate the slime-filled Ghostbusters Twinkies until I got type 2 diabetes, but I feel like these stumps, they're marks of pride.
When my wife is going on a date with one of her boyfriends, yes, we're Polly, make your jokes. I am using my special-made Ghostbusters Kristen wig modeled fleshlight to support the movie, to support myself, and so if you don't like that, you can go take a hike.
Well, I feel they missed the beat with this, like, plug for the High C Ecto Cooler juice box, because this is aimed at an adult market, but they should have been like make a Ghostbusters cocktail, sneak in hotel sized bottles of vodka into the theater, and do a little mixer with the Ecto Cooler High C. Get drunk, get rowdy with your lady friends.
Adulting like a boss. Oh, I love it.
And then finally, number 12. Lay waste to their childhood with joy. Dance through all the male tears.
Yes. That's what I like the most. That's what I like the most, by the way, about Operation Cast Lead. Laying waste to all those childhoods.
My favorite thing about this, about the oppositional thing, is that at least on a few websites, they've decided to call these phantom haters. They exist, but as usual online, it's 15 dorks.
Sure.
And they're calling them Ghost Bros.
Fuck you.
Which, to me,
that's
just,
makes
it's too
seem
perfect.
Like ghosts aren't real, so
right.
Kind of, that's...
Well, they're giving away the game. It's like, maybe you're admitting that this is all an oppositional fantasy you've created to ratify your own selfish preferences.
The BuzzFeed one was pretty peak, but there was actually another one that I liked even better from the All, and I can't even remember what it was called, but it was when Bernie was still pretty viable as a potential, whatever. As viable as he ever was, anyway. And it was a satirical piece, and like the conceit of it was like, oh, I'm the guy who it's not because they're Lady Ghostbusters, it's because I have issues with cinema funding or something like that. And his argument was that the Ghost Bros were the same guys as the Bernie Bros, and they were trying to argue that there are no legitimate objections you could have to this movie or to Hillary Clinton without, actually having like a sexist subtext to it, which was like weird because I liked the metaphor from the other side. It was like I was totally on his side. I'm like, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I do think we are favoring representation over substance here. Okay, you're arriving at different conclusions than I am, and also you work for the All, which, as far as I know, still doesn't pay its writers, so that says something about you. It was, of course, a male feminist. All male feminist.
The most powerful kind.
Oh
like,
my
that's
God.
kind of feminist. To be fair, Bernie did come out against. That was actually like when he announced his candidacy. He announced that he was against the female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He got up on stage and he was like, "You can't hunt a ghost if you're bleeding from your vagina. It's ridiculous."
Well, I think we've already
That was a low moment in his campaign.
Not a good look.
Well, I think we've already proved that it, in fact, is impossible to critique Lady Ghostbusters without being sexist. But I think we should discuss the film itself now.
Totally.
Yeah, because it's worth... we need to do an analysis of the text itself. I have seen the movie. Amber has seen the movie. Matt has seen the movie.
Saw it together.
I have seen the movie.
Felix has not seen the movie.
I have to admit that I fought for my gender here. I did not pay to see Lady Ghostbusters. I paid to see The Shallows with Blake Lively, and then I went in and saw Ghostbusters instead. Well, first I watched the last half of Independence Day, then I snuck in to see Ghostbusters.
Well,
I did not give my money to those women.
Why are you confessing to federal crimes on our show, Matt?
Well,
You gave your money to Blake Lively.
Matt, I'd be curious to know your assessment of the film.
It was not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty generic, obvious attempt to create a franchise.
It's not a good movie, you guys.
It's not that
just
good.
Not a good movie.
And the funny thing is that its badness is very banal. It has not bad because there's women in it. It's not.
It's spectacularly bad.
No, I think that I honestly think I figured out why it doesn't work at a fundamental level, and it's pretty basic. This movie is directed by Paul Feig, right? And he has made some actually good female-centered comedies like Bridesmaids and Spy, which I like a lot. And he butted off of the sort of master host body of Judd Apatow, who has also made some movies that I have enjoyed a great deal. And the thing, all of their two movies combined, all those two guys, all the movies that they've made that I've enjoyed have one thing in common. They have R ratings because for both of them, their comedic wheelhouse is getting funny people in a room and having them do dirty improv and then editing the best jokes together and putting them in the movie. They couldn't do swears, so they basically had nothing because they had no other mechanism